My first real Krispy Kreme experience is Little League baseball. The first, official Little League uniform that the company printed the name and they printed the number on it. Our team bought the uniforms by doing Krispy Kreme fundraising. And I went door to door to aunts and uncles and people that went to church with us and just people that lived in a little small community. And that's how all the players on the team, that's how we got our first uniform.
When we look at the history of our company and how we began a close-knit family type of company for many years, I think that's where our spirit of community really began. Hi, I'm Sam Fowler. I am the Community Partners Director for Krispy Kreme Donut Corporation. When we opened our first stores in communities that many people took a chance on us and gave us a try, and we've got to find ways to give back. Our fundraising and our community outreach is, again, a part of the idea that wherever we are, wherever Krispy Kreme is located, we want it to have the feel that it is the local store, not that it's this national brand, this corporate entity. It belongs to that town, that city.
What did we bring to the good people? We bought a hot Krispy Kreme original glazed donut. We really did. And then, secondly, we bought the opportunity for people here in Kansas and in Missouri to raise a lot of money for nonprofit groups. We are so involved with our community through our fundraising programs. To hear the stories and to get the letters of kids going on field trips to Washington. We had a group this past year from Springfield that planned a trip to Australia. A group last year in Wichita. They were able to have a computer library, bought 9 new computers to put there because of selling Krispy Kreme donuts. So, we've done a lot. We've brought the donut, but we've also brought some good fortune to people to be able to do some great things with.
Historically, Krispy Kreme is one of the original product fundraising companies. In the South years ago, if a group organization wanted to raise funds, they generally had to have a car wash or a bake sale or a spaghetti dinner or something like that. There just wasn't a product that people could sell and make enough money on it to make it worthwhile, except for Krispy Kreme. We have a product that truly is a good fundraising product. It's easy to sell, people like it, it's enjoyable, it's a treat, people know what they're getting. So it works well for groups to use it for fundraising. And really it's helped to build our brand throughout the South where we began, because this was the only way that many people could get a fresh Krispy Kreme donut was through a fundraising group that had come to the store early in the morning and picked up 100 dozen and gone back to the school and given it out to the students, and they go to their neighbors and get it to them, knock on their door and say, would you like to buy a box of Krispy Kremes? And they're just getting ready for breakfast, and it's just been a great treat. So it has a rich tradition for us in helping to build a brand as well. But for Krispy Kreme, it's always been about community. It's always been about what are the kinds of things that we can do to be a part of that community. And our fundraising programs have certainly helped us to build a lot of relationships. We have groups, in addition to schools, that use our product to raise funds for March of Dimes, United Way, many of the local charities. Krispy Kreme's been involved with that for many years. Last year, we actually helped schools and groups and organizations make over $27 million through fundraising with Krispy Kreme. So we're really proud of that, and we're hoping to keep that going as we grow our business and expand our territories. We also introduce our fundraising and our community programs, and we're hoping to, in the future, to be able to help even more people.
We think that it takes really 3 traits to be successful at Krispy Kreme. And the first is just innate ability. My name is Steve Martin, and I am Dean of the Learning Initiative at Krispy Kreme Donut Corporation. You have to be ambitious in Krispy Kreme. You don't have to want to be president, but you have to desire to be successful. And then the third thing is integrity, which we would say is, and I know that's a mathematical term, it means a whole number. It means a whole person. It means that there's a congruency between what you think, what you feel, and what you do. We do all we can, not just to teach that, but to role model that. The idea is to give the message, you have a future here, and we're glad you're here.
There was a guy last year when we opened up the store in Wichita, Kansas, Donnell. Just in a conversation, I asked Donnell, I said, what do you enjoy best about working here? And he looked at me and he goes, can I be honest with you? I said, absolutely. And in the whole process, I thought, oh my goodness, what is he going to say? He said, the thing I like working here the best is that this Christmas, I'll be able to buy Christmas presents for my 2 girls. And you know, that really hit home with me, is that, you know, here in our small company, and we employ close to 400 people. That's 400 people that have jobs, that provide, you know, Christmas presents for their kids, probably put food on the table, have insurance for their families. I mean, there's just a whole multitude of things. You know, if their goal is to own their own business, if their goal is to buy their first house, whatever the case may be, finding out what that element is of that person that makes them say, this is what makes me happy.
The work ethic at Krispy Kreme is incredible. People want to do the right things the right way all the time, and they work very hard and take a lot of pride in their work. I've worked for many years, and I'm not sure I've seen anything quite like it. I'm Sherry Looper, and I am Senior Vice President of Human Resources for Krispy Kreme. At Krispy Kreme, we expect our employees to maintain the highest standards of conduct. And when I say that, I mean that we expect them to maintain high standards of conduct for honesty, respect for coworkers, for their job responsibilities, and for safety. And we take that very, very seriously, in that when a new employee comes on board with Krispy Kreme, we communicate through our training programs, we communicate with the manager who's bringing that person on board, and we make sure that they understand what is expected of them as it relates to maintaining those ethics and standards of conduct that help us to deliver the magic moment to our customer. Well, in our quest for diversity in the organization, in trying to attract minorities and women, and folks with disabilities, we do a number of different things and have a number of different programs. We believe that having that diversity within that group and creating franchise opportunities, ownership opportunities for minorities will broaden our experience as an organization by having those folks as partners. And we have on our website an area where folks can come into Krispy Kreme, look at franchise opportunities, and as a part of that website, state our commitment to seeking out and searching for minorities who are interested in franchise opportunities. Most recently, we have been working very closely with a CDC in North Carolina, and I have been very successful in entering into a minority partnership with a group called Project Homestead, and we're very excited about their coming into the family and joining us as of just the past several months.
One of the greatest thrills for me, having now done this Krispy Kreme project and having to open 5 stores, is that it also has allowed me now the opportunity to do some things for some people and really change their lives. I've got managers that work for me right now that for the first time in their life own a home. They're not renting. I mean, they have bought a home. And when they come to me and tell me the reason that I'm able to buy this house and to have this for my family is because you have provided an opportunity for me to succeed and to be a part of your company. And I'm telling you what, that there's no greater thrill. There's nothing that turns my clock any more than for that process to happen.
Why go global? That's a good question. About 10 years ago, we started looking at franchising in the United States, and we have successfully franchised all the major markets in the United States and have development agreements. And obviously the next step is to go international, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to take the product and the brand and the culture to many different cultures across the world, actually. I'm Phil Wall. I'm Executive Vice President of Worldwide Development. I mean, the whole concept is driven by a franchise agreement, which is basically a licensing agreement. It's written very one-sided to the franchisor's favor. It's not like your driver's license. When you go in to get your driver's license, you don't ask the state, hey, by the way, can I drive 65 instead of 55 in this area? Is that okay? And start negotiating. It's written so that you follow the rules and so forth. Well, we have franchise agreements, and there are licensing agreements that allow people to use the brand and the trademark. And as long as they drive 55, it's okay. But if they start doing 70 and a 55, we have rights to remedy that and take the marks back. Well, the best way to meet those marks is to pick the right people. And if you find the right partner in those areas, it makes all the difference in the world. Most of the folks that we're talking to, the groups that we're talking to, have substantial multi-unit food service experience. And that's really our number one priority is who can we find as our partner? If we have a country that we're thinking about entering, but we find a partner that we think is just the best and will work really well with us, then we'd probably entertain going to that country sooner. Basically, our strategy is to look at the existing markets, what other franchises have been successful in certain markets. Obviously, the political turmoil in Indonesia and in Afghanistan and other countries, we're not targeting them at this moment. But we targeted Canada earlier and had our most successful openings. It's kind of an extension of the United States. It's still here in North America. From a delivery system, it makes it easy. We make our own mix, we make our own equipment, so it's easy to ship. We're looking at Mexico, the UK, Australia, Japan, and Spain to start with. We think they fit very well with our product. The greatest barriers that we've had, but we've been able to overcome, are the trade issues with our mix. For instance, in the UK, they're big on GMO, genetically modified. And so if you have soybean that's in our mix that's genetically modified, you're not supposed to sell it in the UK, and so we've had to work through those issues. Japan has been a challenge as well. The Asian real estate is much different than the real estate in the United States. As we look at sites here in the United States, we typically look for freestanding units where we can put a drive-through in. Our buildings are 4,000 square feet or so. In Asia, we're going to have to modify our concept somewhat to go into downtown Tokyo or into Seoul or Taipei, where we may have to have a smaller concept without a drive-through. It would be more walk-up, kick traffic. But what we're planning to do is carry the same theme of the American concept, the American Krispy Kreme over there, and most importantly, the same product. Certainly, we're sensitive to the local market, and in Spain, we may have our product, we offer a variety of donut products that will fit to their market. For instance, in Spain, a lot of the donut, instead of the glaze, will be a powdered sugar on top, and we may offer that. We currently offer it in Southern California in several of our stores that are located in Hispanic areas. And Australia has a lot of slang terms, and we got to be careful not to use some of those within our marketing. But other than that, we pretty much are trying to stick to our core, do what we do best, go into the countries, open it up under our proven business model, and then if for some reason we run into some issues, we'll make changes. We're not going in day one being defeated and thinking we have to make changes.